Hello students, today in general knowledge we will learn about plant defense. Now all of you understand the meaning of defense. Do you understand it? What is the meaning of defense? Defense means protecting ourselves from some unwanted things is the defense. Like human beings, the plant also have some defense system. Let's see what is the defense system in the plants. Now, first one is, this is the Dhatura plant and it has alkaloids. Alkaloids means it is a type of a chemical that can be harmful for the animals. Now, why this defense system is there in the plants? Because there are herbivores, grazing animals, and if the plants need to survive, then they need this defense system. Otherwise, the animals will eat those plants. So, Datura is one of the flowering plant, white color, big sized flowers it contains. But if anyone tries to pick it up, then it releases some white colored liquid like a rubber plant. Here I have shown one image showing you how the rubber plant, this is the image of actually rubber plant. Rubber also is a type of alkaloid. So this rubber plant, it releases a Fevicol like a sticky substance. The texture also is like Fevicol, white, opaque white, it is not transparent. So this is one type of alkaloid or the chemical which is present in the plants. So this can be this can be harmful for the animals because it contains the poison. So Datura in I think second science chapter in 6th standard it was learnt the living world, poisonous plants. In that Datura was mentioned. Okay, then let's see the next technique of defense mechanism. Now, you might have seen the plants like this. These are called as cactus. It has the fleshy leaves. Okay, and along with that, for the protection, these type of plants wear the spines. You can see these are the needle-like structures on the leaves, on the green structure of the plant, and see the point how pointed those are. So these are called as spines, the structures which are like the needles. So you can imagine if the needle gets pierced, then what will happen? Definitely you will get the pain. Same way, if you touch that cactus plant, there are spines, those can harm you. So the spines of the cacti is the plural tense of cactus. Cactus is a singular and cacti is the many cactus, means plural tense of cactus, and actually modified leaves. These help to imagine cacti as a large stem with the spines. There are no special leaf-like structure. Those leaves only are modified into the fleshy part of the plant, and they bear these spines which are pointed enough to harm the animals. Okay. Roses and prickles. All of you have seen the roses. Roses are the commonly found flowers. So no one in the world is there who is not aware what is rose. How is the rose flower? If anyone is not knowing, what we should say to them? Okay. So roses are very beautiful, but along with that, it has some sharp structures on the stem, as well as with the rose also we get it. Okay, so these are called as prickles. These are like also like the spines, but these are called as prickles, and these, you can see, these are having the curve on that, and it is on the upper side of the stem or the stalk of the flower. Now, why these roses bear the thorns or prickles? Because the roses have a sweet fragrance, sweet smell. Fragrance means smell, and any animal can get easily attracted towards that because it has the sweet fragrance, right? So, to protect the plants from the animals should not eat. That is why the roses have the prickles. These are all the adaptations. Naturally, these are the adaptations which gives them the protection. Now, as a human, we have the defense mechanism. If anyone slaps you, you also can slap, because we are active. We can move from one place to another place. But you know, the plants are solitary. Okay, stagnant at one place. Those cannot move. So they should have such type of structures which can help them to self-defense. Now next is bitter gourd. How many of you like the bitter gourd? Hardly some of you, right? So why it is so? Because the bitter gourd is bitter in taste. Now here something I have given about the bitterness test. Okay, there are how many tests? Salty, sweet, sour and bitter. These are the types of taste. Okay, everyone likes to eat salty things. Even hot. Hot is not actually taste, it is a sensation. Then sour also some of you like. Then salty. Without salt we cannot imagine. Sweet also many of us like. But bitter is liked by very few people. So because it is bitter in taste and it has some particular smell. This is called as a repulsive smell. Repulsive means what? Repulsive means which is taking away from something. That is called as repulsion. In magnetism, with magnet you have learned that attraction and repulsion, these are the two opposite force. Okay, so repulsive smell means which takes the thing away from that. That is the repulsive smell. Strong smell it is. Not very pleasant. Like roses, it does not have the good smell which is attracting to the animals, but it has a bitter and strong smell that makes the animal to move away from that plant. Okay, so here I will read this information about the test. For each one of our 10,000 test buds. Now, where are the test buds? Those are on the tongue. Okay, see the number of taste buds. Small projections on the tongue are called as taste buds. We have around 25 bitter receptors, and among 10,000 there are 25 bitter receptors. Means those can taste or feel the bitterness of the thing. Those are called as bitter receptors. Some of which only respond to a single bitter taste, while others can perceive over 50 bitter chemical compound. Okay, while salty, sweet and sour sensations quickly fade on our tongue. Fade means it goes up, but the bitterness remains for longer time on our tongue. So if you eat something bitter, many medicines also are bitter in taste. But if you just consume it without water, the bitter taste remains for the longer time in our mouth, right? Because that is, other tests have very less, what you can say, uh, period that remains on your tongue. So it fades. Fades means goes away. But the bitter remains for a longer time. The bitter taste sensation is comparatively prolonged. The area on our tongues most sensitive to bitterness is the swath on the back of the tongue. Means near to the throat These taste buds are located, and those are comparatively bigger in size, those which are sensing the salty, sweet and sour sensations. Okay, the bitter uh, sensory taste buds are comparatively bigger in size and located near to our throat area. Okay, so the area on our tongues most sensitive to bitterness is swathe on the back of the tongue closest to the throat. So as that bitter morsel means what? The piece of the food which we eat, that is called as morsel, goes down, you quickly realize that perhaps you don't need to have another bite. Immediately you understand that. When you swallow the food, that time you understand this is bitter in taste. Have you understood this? So this is one of the defense mechanisms in plant, that is the repulsive smell or strong pungent smell that takes the animals away from them. Okay, let's move next. Now this plant, many times in science it has been discussed. This is called as mimosa plant or mimosa, some of you can say, or touch me not, commonly said as touch me not. Okay, why it is so? Because if we touch the leaflets, those small leaves are there, the leaf size is very small, so those are called as leaflets. When you touch that, it closes that leaflet. It closes and it appears as if it is a dead plant. It doesn't look green, it looks like a dried plant. So even the grazing animals, when see how the grazing animals are eating the grass of the plants, okay, directly, like us, they don't put the morsel with the help of hand because they do not have the hand. So directly they put the mouth in the food. So when the plant senses the animal is trying to eat that, it closes. So the animal feels that this is a dead plant and it does not eat. Okay, and it shows the movement. So the animals will not eat that. Herbivores will not eat that. So this is the defense mechanism to protect themselves or to for the survival. Okay, the sensitive plant. Okay, because it is for that it is called as a touch me not plant. The sensitive plant closes its leaves when they are touched, making them appear dead, therefore unappetizing. Okay, so crypsis, what it is called as crypsis. This type of defense mechanism is known as crypsis, unstimulated sensitive part or unstimulated bottom or stimulated sensitive plant. Okay, and here I have provided one link that will show you a video how after touching the mimosa leaves, how it closes. How it closes its leaflet. Okay, you can watch this and compulsorily you have to watch this to understand the movement in touch me not plant and the crypsis. Next is lemon and thorn. Everyone knows what is lemon. Okay, it's very commonly used fruit. It is a fruit. Okay, everyone has this in the at their home. Okay, so lemon and thorns. Thorns are also like spines. Okay, here like needle like structure, first image, there is a one sharp needle like structure. You can see it appears just as a needle, right? So you can imagine if it pierces you, what will happen? So one example of such plants which are bearing the thorns is a lemon. Lemons have varying amount of thorns, means some areas there are many thorns, some areas there are no thorns or very less number of thorns, depending upon on the variety. However, if you have a grafted lemon, grafted means grafting, find out the meaning of grafting. The thorny branches may be suckers that have grown from the rootstock below the graft. Okay, so this is also the animals should not eat the fruits or the plant or the leaves of the plant. The plants are bearing the needle-like structure is called as thorns. Okay. The another needle-like structure previously I have explained, that is called as spines. Okay. The what do you say? Logic is same behind that. These are pointed and it harms the herbivores. Now next is Rafflesia. This is called as the world's biggest flower. Now here I have given the image. See, the flower is not very beautiful. And you can see hardly it has some leaves. Leaves are very small compared to the flower size. Okay. The see the size of that, given the measures of that flower, it is nearly 1 meter in diameter. 1 meter. Can you imagine? Okay. So 1 meter in diameter and it weighs up to 11 kg. Okay. Can we call this as a flower then? Flowers are very delicate, right? So, but this Rafflesia is very bigger in size and called as the world's biggest flower or biggest flower in the world. And this is a forest flower, and the animals cannot dare to go near to that because of it. It smells like a rotten flesh. Okay, you can imagine how dirty it has the smell. So this is also one of the defense mechanism. So no one should approach to that flower. Okay, so Rafflesia flower smells like a rotten flesh. So this is one of the defense mechanisms. So next one is these type of plants. Now commonly in the rainy season these are found, and if you try to touch this or you just pick up the leaf from that plant, it gives you the itching sensation. Okay, because you can see in the second image on the right side there, if you observe it carefully, it has got small hairy structures, white colored hairy structures. So these are called as stinging hair. Sting means what? Honeybee has the sting, needle-like structure. Okay, the honeybee bite, it also gives the burning sensation. So this is called as stinging hair. So this whole plant, all over the plant of body of the plant bears the white small hairy structure, and that causes the itching sensation. See here the description. The nettle causes severe itching and burning sensation when it comes into contact with the human skin. They have thin hollow hair which stings and injects formic acid. Means even the formic acid, that ants also, when the ant bite, red ants, when those bite us, that also gives us burning sensation or itching because of the presence of formic acid. Okay. Then last slide, this is what we have learned in this plant defense against herbivory. Herbivory means herbivores. Describes a range of adaptations evolved by the plant. We have learned chemicals like alkaloids, that Dhatura plant, then spines. Okay, those are for the cactus, then thorns for the lemon plant, prickles for the rose plant. These are some examples, but many more plants can bear these type of mechanisms or structures. Then repulsive smell, that is bitter gourd example I have explained there. Then stinging hair, that is stinging nettle, is one of the plant grows in the rainy season. Then crypsis, that is touch me not plant, and smell of rotten flesh, that is a Rafflesia flower. Okay, so the plant defense, I think you have got some knowledge about the plant defense system. These are all adaptations naturally present in this plant to protect them against the animals for the survival. So you have to write and observe the link. You have to write the PDF in your notebook. Now at the time of revision, more questions will be given on these chapters. Just now I have just given the fill-ups. Those are supposed to be completed in your notebooks. Okay, thank you children.
Sarojini Naidu was an Indian political activist and a poet. Poet, all of you know, who writes a poem is called a poet. And political activist means those who take part in the political activities. So being lady, she was taking part in political activities also, and she fought for India's struggle also. So she was an important figure in India's struggle of independence from colonial rule. Her work as a poet earned her the sobriquet Nightingale of India by Mahatma Gandhi. Sobriquet means the title given. Why she was called as Nightingale? Now, what is the meaning of Nightingale? Nightingale is a bird who sings very melodiously. So, why she might have given this sobriquet? Because she used to sing in very melodious voice. That is why she was titled as Nightingale of India, and who labeled her in that way, who titled her in that way? Mahatma Gandhi. And another achievement of hers was she became the first woman to be the governor of India. She was the first woman governor of India. So few of the leaders we have covered through this lesson of general knowledge. This is not an end. We have many more leaders who had done great works for the country. But there is limit for the lesson. So I am ending this lesson here. Whatever is given in the PDF, you need to copy it. This is the third lecture for 7th standard. Hope you have completed all the PDF notes in your notebooks. Thank you, children.